Hi guys, how you guys doing? I hope you're all well. In this video I want to talk to you about vicarious trauma. It's something that's almost inevitable if you're practicing social work. So yeah, let's get right into it. There isn't much more to say. I don't know if you guys have heard or are aware of what vicarious trauma is, but yeah, I'll just, I guess, give you a brief on what it is, what it looks like when a person is being affected by it, and how to sort of manage it or prevent it from getting to a point where it's almost irreversible. So yeah, I hope you guys find this video beneficial. If you do, definitely give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and yeah, let's get right into it. So vicarious trauma basically is the alteration of the inner experience of an individual who's working with a person that has experienced some form of traumatic event. So usually workers who would experience vicarious trauma would start experiencing sensations and thoughts and feelings that their clients might be feeling. Generally, as social workers, we do work empathically with clients. So when we work with clients that have experienced any form of trauma, mainly sexual abuse, domestic violence, natural disasters, so really horrific stuff, hearing those stories can cause us to start taking on some of the feelings that the clients might be feeling, and that's what's vicarious trauma. Generally, it manifests itself in, like, you know, as a worker, you can become depressed, you can become anxious, you can start like taking work home, you feel guilty when things don't go the way you were hoping for, like if services fail clients and things like that, you start to take that on. You're unable to separate work from home, like you're constantly talking about work and this particular client and the issues that they might be facing. You can start isolating yourself from people. You might not be doing the things that you enjoy anymore. You can start tuning out as well, and you might not necessarily enjoy the work that you do as much as you used to. So those are all signs that, you know, you may be impacted on by some kind of vicarious trauma. As I said before, it's almost inevitable that this will happen, but it's important to be aware of it just so you're able to manage it. It's not solely the responsibility of the worker to manage vicarious trauma. It's important for the organization that you're working with to be aware of it as well, and to make sure that they're supporting their workers so that they're not getting to the point where they're completely burnt out, and it just makes things a lot messier than they need to be. So one of the main things as an organization, you know, you need to have in place so that you're supporting your workers adequately, I would say, is supervision. And supervision, it's something that's compulsory. As a social worker, if your organization is not offering you supervision, that's not okay. That's something that you need to request for and demand that it happens, because it's nearly impossible to remain in this role without supervision. And it needs to be quality, efficient supervision where you're not only discussing work tasks and things like that, you need to feel safe and comfortable enough to discuss other things that might be happening in your life, or even be able to have casual conversations, because it's chill time besides like the fact that you're talking about work and issues that are arising and things like that. So supervision is very, very important. Your organizations needs to be allowing, you know, breaks like regularly, and you need to be taking them on as regularly as possible. I've talked about this in my self-care video. If you're interested in that, you can check that out. I'll link it in the description box and at the end of the video as well. It's really, really important to make sure you're taking your breaks when you need to, and your organization needs to have organized breaks for you as well. In addition to regular supervision, there's another one called peer supervision. That's also a space where you can share issues that you may have encountered in working with clients and things like that, and your peers can share how they responded and you can learn from them and stuff like that. I do like peer supervision, but I don't feel as safe as I do in my one-on-one supervision. But it might be different for you, you know. I feel like because you're presenting in front of a bigger number of people, it's a little bit trickier to be as vulnerable vulnerable as you probably will be in your one-on-one supervision, but it might be a different experience for other people. So yeah, that's also helpful if you're working with really difficult clients that have experienced like high levels of trauma. Another thing that helps to like manage vicarious trauma or prevent it is to make sure your skills are up to date. So you know, if you're finding the role challenging or anything like that, it's important to bring it up in supervision and try and find out about training that might be available, and your organization should be able to support you to do that so you're able to do your work efficiently. Caseload management is also another important aspect. It's very important to have, like, even if you have a high number of people on your caseload, it's important to have a balance regarding how many high needs clients you have and how many low needs clients you have. If you have 30 clients, you can't be expected to have 30 high need clients. It's just too much for one person to take on. It's one traumatic story after the other. So it's important to bring this up if you're struggling with your caseload. It's important to keep bringing this up in supervision and trying to manage that so that you have a decent number of high needs clients and a decent number of low needs clients as well. And that's for your self-care as well. It's also very important to take care of your well-being, which is like finding interests outside of work, connecting to other people and other things outside of work, just so you're not so consumed by your work all the time. That would also be it would also be helpful for you to learn more about this particular thing about your well-being if you watch my self-care video, which I'll link at the end of this video and in the description box as well. The last 2 points I would say would be, it's important to take leave when you need to. I talked about this in my self-care video as well. You know, the leave is given to you for a reason. You have to take it. Like, even if you feel like you're not going to have enough time to work with your clients and whatnot, you're not going to be any good to them if you're not good yourself. Take that leave when you need to. Finally, I would say humor is really important. Like, have you know, work in organizations where they have like a caring culture, where, you know, people actually care about each other and people can talk to people without necessarily having to talk about work. It's always nice to work in such environments where you can have chats that have nothing to do with clients. It just helps to take away from all that difficult stuff for a minute or two before you get back into it, you know. So I think it's important to suss out that when you start working at organizations. I feel like that culture is usually more common with NGOs than government departments, but yeah, I think it's really nice to have those kind of environments where your supervisor seems to care about you as a person besides the work that you do, and so do your colleagues, and you're able to, you know, laugh about certain things and you're able to maintain humor despite the fact that you're working with really traumatic stories. So yeah, that is pretty much it for me in this video. I hope you found it helpful. If you've experienced vicarious trauma in any other roles that you've been in or in the current role that you are in, let us know how it felt and how you managed it. And if you have any questions, definitely leave them below. If you have video requests as well, leave it below and I'll see what I can do about it. Thank you so much for watching, and yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.